Hi, my name is Ross Riddleston. Welcome to this Anson McCade Future series of webinars and podcasts. Today, with the help of some industry experts, we're going to be shining some light on the future of technology and business, with particular focus on diversity, skills, and working practices. Today, we're going to be speaking to Growth Leader at IBM, Janelle Delaney.
Right, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Today I'm talking to Janelle Delaney from IBM, who's going to be talking to us around diversity in technology, specifically with regard to women in technology and leadership. Janelle, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. Great to be here.
Great, thanks. Well, look, I'll get straight into it. So if you could, to start with, tell me a bit more about yourself and what you do at IBM.
Yeah, so I've been at IBM for a very long time, pretty much my whole career. I perform a role where I work for Global Business Services, our consulting arm, and my role is about going into new clients and incubating those new clients, looking at where we can help partner with our clients around digital reinvention in particular.
I mean, why did you decide to pursue a career in this field?
It was a very long time ago, back in high school. I went to a girls' high school, so hadn't really thought about anything to do with sort of gender and careers and what were female jobs and male jobs, etc. It never really came into that discussion. I loved maths, and I did maths, and really was thinking that I might do that for my career. And my German teacher suggested that computer science might be the way to go. So yes, I started and went off and did a computer science degree at UTS. A very, very long time ago, where we still learnt COBOL, and my first job was coding in COBOL, and even developed on systems that were written in the 60s. So yeah, a long time, and technology has really changed a lot since then. And I've just really loved being in the IT industry.
And, okay,
yes, you can ask the question.
What do you think the biggest barriers are for women entering and staying in the industry?
I think the first part in terms of entering in the first place is really understanding what are options actually available to you in technology. People sort of think, oh, technology, that's, you know, a programmer somewhere there just really getting deep with technology, and people aren't always interested in that. But the breadth of opportunities in technology is tremendous, through business transformation, artificial intelligence now, data analytics as well. So, you know, today we've got new roles that people hadn't even heard of a few years ago around being a data scientist. That's another role. So it's changing so fast, and there are just so many opportunities. And for me, I think that's one of the barriers, is people actually don't fully understand what they could be doing with technology.
Right. I'll get onto that point in a second, around what can be done with technologies. But to start off with, there's a lot of talk around in industry around STEM subjects, especially drawing women into them. And what steps should be taken to attract more women into technology, do you think?
So again, I think back to helping women in high school to understand what the opportunities are around that. So one of the things that IBM does globally is run camps in the holidays for high school girls from year 8 through to year 10, and IBM has done that over many years. We do them here in Australia. We run about 4 days. A group of girls will get together and will learn about many different facets and do workshops and projects and things like that around AI and just whatever the latest technology is at the time. Part of that program also is a mentorship program where some high profile women from industry come in and work with the girls, and they have a speed mentoring session so that they can really hear from people's experiences.
Yeah, and I think you've mentioned in our previous conversation, was it P-Tech?
Yes. So that's another program. Again, it's a global program that started in the US, where universities and organisations partner. So IBM, we do that down in Ballarat with the Federation University, where it's very much about work-based learning. So it's from year 9 upwards, where students actually come and really that becomes their school, and they go through work-based learning to really get hands-on experience with technology from an early age, and many of those students go on then to do university degrees after that. There's internships as part of that as well, where they work very
perhaps around the people, the entry-level people with an IBM. I mean, are they all coming from scientific subjects, do you think?
So we get people from a broad range, but generally, if we get them from other areas, they actually go into those fields. So if we have marketing, like we'll have marketing grads come in, we'll have finance type grads. They will generally tend to go to the more, well, they will go and work in those areas. Versus, I'm actually not sure how much we actually bring in people without the technology degrees.
No, it's an interesting point, because I think I suppose one area worth highlighting now in terms of not necessarily new tech, but the whole drive around things like design thinking and those slightly new approaches to engagement. Do you think that could open up more, I suppose, less specific degrees or less specific requirements of entry?
Yeah, I think so, because it's really a lot of that consulting work is actually about, you mentioned design thinking, but it is about how you think, and it's about working with our clients and taking them on a journey. So yes, you probably no longer do need that hardcore technical side like development work or those sorts of things. So yes, I think perhaps in the future that could be the way to go, where it's actually really about how you think and how you work with people and those sorts of things.
Yeah, because I must admit, I didn't realise until doing some research around the work we do around diversity, psychology is actually one of the biggest STEM subjects, and think of that a little bit less, less maths, less science focus.
Yeah. So we have in particular now with the whole design side of things, where we actually are working with and bringing in agencies and things like that, the pure design type agencies. So that is certainly starting to happen, and they're people that certainly are not deep in tech.
Right. Well, so I suppose moving forward in terms of career and how one progresses, do you think gender's affected the way you've been perceived or treated as a technologist or leader in the workplace? So
I think, I'm not sure whether I've just been very lucky with the people that I've worked with, but I have never experienced anything where I felt that gender has been an issue for me. And I've had very supportive management across my whole career who've helped me personally develop and to grow. So I've certainly not seen it personally.
Right, and if you look at the picture in terms of gender diversity, say today versus 5 years ago, have you seen many changes?
So unfortunately, in terms of numbers and the statistics, I don't think I've seen the dial move very far at all. However, I think in the last 5 years, I've heard there's been a lot more dialogue going on. There's a lot more focus, I think, on this aspect, and in particular, I think I've seen a lot more, particularly senior women out there supporting other women. So I think that's really been a more recent change in terms of just that support and women going out there and helping other women to grow and develop.
So, what involvement do you have as a leader in terms of driving diversity?
So for me, I think diversity is really about differences in people, not just gender, and it's difference of thought, and just really important to get a group of people together in your team that have different ways of thinking, to be able to ensure that people can express their views freely and work in the way that they need to work and working as a group. And without those sorts of things, I think we're going to lack innovation, and that's just critical going forward.
So I suppose beyond that big question, what are you and perhaps IBM doing, or sorry, no, you mentioned that, but IBM doing to support diversity, whether it be hiring or promotion or whatever? So
in my part of the business at the moment, we've got a real focus on our high potential women. and we've got a specific program around a group that have been selected where we're helping giving them the right support, the right opportunities, the right development. And also part of that program, there's an expectation that those women will also pass it on to the people below them in the organisation. So that's something that's just actually been kicked off very recently, and so far some really good feedback. Are really about giving those women opportunities and visibility in the organisation.
What you just said. Now, as an external recruiter, I often see diversity, be it gender, whatever part of diversity, as a kind of add-on to a mandate around a skill set. Do you think more could be done to force people in the decision-making parts of the business, leadership or team leads or whatever, to have that diversity piece as part of their decision-making process?
So yeah, look, I think we should be certainly looking at that again, back to having a diverse set of ideas and thoughts coming into a team. So I mean, that's just critical if you want to have a high functioning team. So yeah, so I think that would work. That would be a good thing to do in terms of actually making people consider and make sure they are considering all the options. But you certainly don't want to get to the point where you're hiring on gender and that person doesn't necessarily have the ability to do the job. I mean, that's critical. That you certainly, that's not the way to go.
Is there more that can be done in terms of work patterns?
So I've certainly taken advantage of flexible working. So IBM is very positive around flexible working, and for me, my husband is actually the primary carer in our household. We have two children, and he actually works in a job share for his organisation, so that works very well for us. And my passion outside of work is athletics, and I do masters athletics, and we travel overseas to go and compete. And through the benefits of flexible working, I'm able to actually do that and manage my career as well. So I've certainly had a lot of support from IBM in doing that. But having said that, it has to be a two-way street. It can't be your right to have flexible working. You have to work with your employer to make sure that both parties are going to benefit out of the arrangement. But yeah, as you touched on, it isn't just a woman thing. It's definitely a male thing as well, and it's really about your life and getting that work-life balance, which is really important for all genders.
And do you think there's a challenge being in a services-focused organisation such as IBM, working with clients, that there's an expectation of less flexibility? So perhaps your clients can have flexible working, but if you're not seen on site doing what you do, then you're not getting the job done.
Yes, look, there's certainly examples of that where there is an expectation of on-site. But I actually think with clients that I've worked with, we actually see more and more where other organisations also are applying the same flexibility and are working with their suppliers in the same way. But yes, that's certainly a challenge that you need to work through. Yes.
And what would your message be to women trying to get into technology at the moment?
I think one of the things that's really important is to find yourself a mentor or a sponsor, somebody who's been there before you and can help you on your journey. And I think that is good advice for people who are already in the industry as well, is really finding that person who will be your advocate in your organisation, and it will help give you that advice. And I think often, women don't go out and do that. They just go and do their own thing and follow their own sort of path, but that's so important to have that sponsor, and I think that will help with progression as well.
Okay. Well, Janelle, thanks for your time. It's been a really good insight into what needs to be done. It sounds like there's not any easy answers to it, but so look, I think the fact that it's recognised, and I think the fact that it does have visibility within organisations, and that if organisations give their high potential women opportunities, then I think that's really what will help to shift the dial, is recognising it and just identifying those women who you do see have that potential and working with them. And I think that will really make a big difference. Great. Well, Janelle, thanks for your time today. We'll post some links after this to find out more about Janelle and IBM and some more areas around diversity and STEM subjects. So if you'd like to have a look at that, it'd be great. But Janelle, thanks for your time today, and yeah, it was really good insight. Thank you.
Thank you.